Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of this little SpellJammer series. Today we're going to be covering 3 spacefaring companies that you can find out in the astral sea. I don't really have a preamble for you today, so let's just get into it. Land on Glyph and become property. With the progression of the Baldur's Gate series, many have been reminded of the terror of the Mind Flayers. While they may have competition living in the Underdark of Toril, the planet Glyph is the closest thing they seem to have to a homeworld. And the company known as Code Helm has devoted their lives to fighting the Lithids and freeing their humanoid captives. Now, I won't go into detail about the specifics of the planet, but I will say that the Lithids, as a race, have conquered this world and burned most of the forests across the surface to elicit acid rain as a means to conquer their humanoid cattle, while they live safely underground in massive, ever-growing cities. The planet itself has 3 satellites orbiting around it, and 4 different rings surrounding it. A ring of ice made dirty by the planet below, a ring of asteroids that have somehow been arranged according to color, a ring of large dark objects devoid of any further detail in the original lore, and a 4th ring of tiny asteroids shaped like wagon spokes spread out for thousands of miles between each one. It's in this 3rd ring of dark objects where Code Helm makes its home. During the era of 2nd edition, this company once operated with over 500 members, but had since dwindled to just over 300. Through many hard-fought battles, they've seen to over 1,000 humanoids saved from death at the hands of Illithid kind, and eventually returned to their former homes. Although they originally operated throughout the system, with the threat so densely located under the surface of Glyph, all of their efforts are now coordinated from the 3rd ring of this planet. All around, their efforts have been successful due to the aid of the god Helm. While a good chunk of the order are specialty priests serving the god Helm, the vast majority of members are actually paladins serving a multitude of other gods. Despite this though, all members of this order wear the symbol of Helm hovering over a depiction of a bloodied Illithid corpse on their breastplates. As graphic as that may seem, it pretty accurately displays the resolve of the group. Going back to the primary reason for the group's many successes, this is most likely due to the origins of the group stemming from Helm's specialty priests. The god himself actively grants all paladins of Code Helm, and his own priests, a tier 3 spell known as Mental Prowess. This spell grants all living beings within 20 yards a +6 to saving throws against mind-altering spells and abilities, including the Mental Blast abilities used by the Mind Flayers. One good spell, though, does not make a completely successful group. Although the hierarchy isn't made too clear in the original lore, it's easy to surmise that individuals such as Issel Gifford of Am have risen to leadership through their own merits. Within the era of 2nd edition, he is the last known leader of the company. A level 21 paladin of Torm wearing exquisitely polished platinum full plate mail armor, with a +3 protection ring and a +3 intelligent longsword known as the Fist of Obedience. The sword itself can tell when anyone is lying and can communicate that fact telepathically with its owner, Issel. Although the original lore does not give us anything more than that, it's easy to surmise that the sword is the reason Issel was able to rise to the rank of leadership within the company. Oh man, I've been meaning to dig into the galactic lineage of Illithids for a while now, but this just opens up a whole new can of worms, especially with Baldur's Gate 3 on the horizon. Between that and the SpellJammer update coming in August, I really hope to see this group as a well-oiled machine holding back the tides. the Neogi. There are many things to fear or despise out in the Astral Sea, but none are quite as detestable as the xenophobic, spider-like race of slavers known as the Neogi. Using their psychic abilities, they mentally dominate their victims into slavehood. They are hated across all known crystal spheres. This, however, makes them the primary target of our next spacefaring company, an adventuring group known as the Emerald Brotherhood. Not quite as grandiose or as numerous as Code Helm, but still successful enough to have made an impact in the slave trade run by the Neogi. Originally famous for being vicious lycanthrope hunters in the lands around Am and Tether on Toril, this group was abducted in the middle of a quest by the Lithid slaver ship known as Mind Ripper, and eventually presumed to be sold to the Neogi. This is where they made their mark on the Astral Sea. Breaking free from their captors, they ended up destroying a major Neogi slave operation in the process of escaping, and even gained their ship from one of the Arcane that was also held captive. It was a Viper-class ship of SpellJammer that was modified and renamed to Tyr's Strike. After only 14 months of operating in realm space, all slavers, and even the Neogi in particular, learned to fear the very sight of their ship. So much so that the Neogi even put out a 50,000 gold piece bounty on the group, claiming that they needed to be brought to justice. It's safe to say that not many would dare to take up the challenge, especially since the Emerald Brotherhood has also become good at hiding. In general, the members of the group are Captain Germ, a level 9 paladin of Tyr, his wife Kali, an 8th level cleric of Tyr and Torm, whom is also the helmsman of the ship, Dairn, a level 7 multi-class fighter mage, and Zadfrak, a level 7 multi-class fighter thief, whom is also the younger brother of Dairn. It is presumed other members have come and gone over the years, but as of this era in 2nd edition, these are its current members. Although they usually patrol the regions of space between Toril and Anadia, if they aren't on a specific job that takes them to another crystal sphere, they spend a good deal of time building up their base on a planetoid in the Tears of Selûne. This base is actually the first spacebound temple devoted to the god Tyr away from Toril. And Germ and Kalia are constantly putting all of their spoils of battle into the construction of this temple. You know, thinking about what Wizards of the Coast did with all of the factions on Toril, with the Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, Lord's Alliance, and the Zentarim, I think it would be absolutely amazing if we got to see groups like these two, the Emerald Brotherhood and Code Helm, grow into an even greater capacity. Enough so that they could rival the Earthbound factions as legitimate organizations with long histories and established reputations. Keeping with the Neogi and the slave trade of realm space, our third and final group operates similar to the Emerald Brotherhood, but on a much larger scale. They are known as the Gauntlet. Dedicated to the eradication of all slave trade within realm space, this company had made its mark by completely destroying a Neogi slave trade operation that was hidden on an asteroid close to Toril's moon. There were over 100 Neogi there, buying and selling Umberhulks and some conditioned humanoids from the Illithid altering farms. Using their enhanced Scorpion ship, also known as the Gauntlet, they had destroyed every building in sight and killed almost every last Neogi and Illithid they could find. The few that made it out alive are the very reason why the group now has over a 100,000 gold piece bounty. It's because of this setback that the Neogi now have set up multiple new operations across the tiers of Selûne. The group originally got its start when a man by the name of Kiriel Alathar Pelennor, son of Kairos Pelennor, 3rd Lord of Everlund and proud servant of Tyr, a 16th level paladin, had lost his family and 200 other citizens to an Illithid slave ship. Originally part of the Lord's Alliance, he left everything behind when the Council denied him aid, and chose to seek out the blue-skinned race known as the Arcane in order to procure everything he needed to pursue the Illithid ship and find his family again. It was actually during his initial search for the Arcane that he gained a number of members that would aid him on his journey. The company is now up to 14 members, and for the most part, they haven't lost anyone during their time of operation. Other than their leader Kiriel, the company consists of Anselok, Kiriel's level 3 apprentice, Cambriga, a 10th level mage who is as determined as their leader is, Sabion 11fingers, a 16th level invoker who claims to have gained an extra finger due to a regeneration spell gone wrong, Vom of the Protectorate, a 21st level abjurer who is the sole survivor of another group known as the Fist of Antiquity, Lae'zel, a 19th level priest of Lyra, Sunea, a 16th level priestess of Sun, Kyrie, a 17th level priest of Lathander, and finally, there are Lekra, Vicales, Nogard, Sardin, Char, and Sharandal. All 6, of course, happen to be the apprentice mages to the main 3. I do apologize for the list. That was a bit of a mouthful. To summarize, the group is led by a powerful paladin, has 3 mages that take turns piloting the ship, 3 specialty priests that worship different gods, and of course, 7 apprentices. Despite all they've accomplished though, Kiriel still hasn't located his family during the 7 years they've been operating. He bears so much hatred for those who imprison innocent people that he's completely forgotten how to laugh and smile. His unwavering dedication to ending all slave trade within realm space only increases his anger the longer his family stays missing. Although this company operates far and wide, they choose to consider themselves as the police force of the tiers of Selûne. Now that's closer to what I was talking about. An established organization operating throughout the Astral Sea with the potential to be a massive faction within the region. All they would need to do is absorb other adventuring companies like the Emerald Brotherhood, or unite with larger groups like Code Helm. As it is though, each of them is dead set on fighting their own battles in their own little corner of space. But if they all united, they could, in turn, achieve each of their goals and get close to actually eradicating all slave trade for good. And so far, Kiriel seems like the best bet to unite these types of companies under one banner. For the next few episodes, I'm actually thinking of covering the Unhuman Wars, the galactic lineage of the Illithids, and even a brief explanation of how space in D&D works. There's a lot of different things to cover in the old era of SpellJammer, so I'm trying not to dwell too long in each area. But until next time everyone, stay safe out there.